Let's find a comfortable seat. And we'll begin by rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. And take the fingertips and gently brush the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can gently float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or just having your gaze downward. Lifting the heart, shoulders back and down, and bring our awareness to the breath. Allowing the inhale to lift, the exhale to root us down through the sitting bones to the earth. And we'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibrations. Take another deep breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning and set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and opening, contracting and relaxing. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding your lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As we continue this full deep breath, let's gently move into Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath. So take the right hand, the pointer and middle finger, placing them between the eyebrows, ring finger and thumb on either side of the nose. You can also tuck the fingers in if that feels more comfortable for you. Take another breath in and out. Gently closing the right nostril, inhale through the left. Switch and exhale through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. And that's one full round. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch and exhale left. Continue following this pattern, following your body's rhythm. One more full round. When you finish the exhale on the left side, gently return to your natural breath and float your hand down. Taking a moment to notice any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace and calm. And bringing awareness to your right hand again, allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. And bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down and gently open your eyes. And if you would like to switch your legs or switch positions, please feel free to do that. And with your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. Exhale, press them back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. We'll bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Lifting the heart. Gently strengthening the muscles around the scapula. And let's press the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart gently. Think about squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out any tension. And we'll open the arms wide, turning the palms up. Lift the heart a little more if that feels okay. Think about squeezing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. Breathing into the heart. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms. And let's bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeeze the arms together, breathing into the upper back, allowing the jaw and the neck to be soft. And then as it feels okay, you can gently lower and lift the elbows, extending that stretch. And with the next inhale, gently lifting up a little higher and arching if that feels okay. And with the exhale, folding forward, listening to your body, only coming as far as feels okay. And then with the next inhale, coming back to center. We'll unwrap the arms, open wide, lift the heart. And then we'll bring the arms in front, left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back or right hand around the left wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeeze the arms together. Jaw and neck are relaxed. Breathing into the upper back. And again, as it feels okay, you can gently lower and lift the elbows. And with the next lift and inhale, you can gently arch if that feels okay. Lifting those elbows higher. And as you exhale, folding over, letting the weight of the arms open the back a little more, but being careful with your low back as well. And inhaling back to the center. We'll unwrap the arms and give the shoulders a little roll up and back and down. Then we'll interlace the fingers, pressing the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, drop the chin round the spine. With your next inhaling breath, lift the arms up, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, leave the palms up and gently drop the chin toward the chest. Softening the elbows, roll the shoulders back toward each other, gently squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out tension through the trapezius muscles across the shoulders and into the neck. Relax the jaw and let the back of the neck soften a little more if that feels okay. And listening to your body, if it feels okay, you could press the palms up toward the sky a little further. And with your next inhale, lift the chin. As you exhale, let's twist toward the right and float the hands down. Left hand to the knee, right hand behind the right hip. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, gently twist a little further toward the right. Head comes around last. Hold and breathe. Lifting and twisting gently. Keeping the left hand on the knee, with your next inhaling breath, bring the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Dropping the right hip, lifting the heart, chin away from the chest, fingertips reaching across, opening through the side of the body. Creating space. And with your next inhale, lift up. And exhale back to the center. And take a breath in and out. Then we'll interlace the fingers, inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, twist toward the left. And float the hands down, right hand to the knee, left hand behind the left hip. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, gently twisting, bringing the head around toward the shoulder. Hold and breathe. Finding that edge between flexibility and inflexibility. Keeping the right hand on the knee with your next inhale, lift the left arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body, dropping that left hip toward the mat, lifting the heart, reaching the fingertips across the sky. With your next inhale, lift up. And exhale back to the center. Let's extend our legs out in front of us. We'll scoot the feet down toward the end of the mat. Think about flexing the feet, lifting the spine tall, shoulders back and down. You can rest the hands on the legs or floor. If you want to bring them back toward the hips a little more to help you open up the chest, you can do that as well. So flexing the feet, begin engaging the quadriceps by drawing the kneecaps up, gently lifting the heels off the floor. Think about pressing through the heels, gently tilting that pelvis forward. You'll feel that stretch through the hamstrings and lengthening up through the crown of the head. And remember to keep breathing here. One more breath. And as you exhale, soften the legs. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, gently folding forward, listening to your body, folding just as far as feels okay. Hands on the legs, floor, or feet. With your inhale, lift the heart, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, gently softening, keeping the spine nice and long, letting the ribs come toward the thighs. Lengthening the back of the neck. Breathing into the hamstrings, breathing into the low back. Allowing yourself to soften with the exhale around any of those places of tightness or tension. Notice what you might be saying to yourself in your head. And if it isn't something kind or gentle, try to reframe that. The next exhale, let go a little more. And then with your inhale, we'll lift up tall, bringing the hands behind the hips, fingertips pointing toward the hips. You can work with inclined plane with the feet together, lifting the hips here, or bend the knees, walk the feet out a little bit, and lift into reverse table here. So find which version feels comfortable for you in this moment. And with your next inhale, we'll lift the hips high. Exhale, gently lower and hover if that feels okay. Bending those elbows. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Elbows are slightly bent. Hips press high. Head extends out from the spine. And with your next exhale, gently lower down. And we'll shake out the wrists. Then let's go ahead and lower the rest of the way down. Extending the head out from the spine. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Gently scan up the body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body's a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg. Floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Lengthen through the spine, soften around the hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, allow the right arm to fall out to the side. And with your exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Vision toward the right arm. Release the muscles around the hip. Allow your spine to sink into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center. Extending your leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow the breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse circles. Reaching through the heel, gently arch the low back, letting the sitting bones drop down. Now tuck the pelvis, drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Reaching through the heel, you can use a strap if that is helpful. Engage the lower belly muscles, drawing the belly toward the back. With your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg if that feels okay. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Listening to your body. Lengthening through the back of the neck. Belly muscles draw down, reaching through the heel. And with your next inhale, lower the head and chest. As you exhale, I'm going to have you bend your knee and then take hold of the arch of the foot, either on the inside Or if it feels better on the outside, you can do that as well. And again, you can use a strap here. And then we'll bring the sole of the foot to face the ceiling, working on a half happy baby. Consciously softening around the hip, letting the knee come outside of the ribs as far as feels okay. Noticing where you can let go. And if it feels okay, if you don't have a couch in the way, you can extend the leg out a little further, listening to your body. And let's release the foot, but we'll bring the left leg up and bring the right ankle over the left thigh. Lifting the left foot off of the floor if that feels okay. Take hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently flexing the left foot. Let's draw the right knee toward the torso just as far as feels all right. Lengthening through the neck, softening the shoulders. Send the breath to the right hip. Gently releasing any worries or frustration stuck in the hip. Allowing it to float away on the breath. And then we'll release the leg. If it feels okay, you can let that right leg kind of slide a little further so it's like your legs are crossed, right leg over the left. And then we'll gently drop the knees to the right, doing a little extra stretch on the outside of that hip and a little more twist. If it feels okay, you could bring the vision to the right side again. And then let's gently come back to the center. Unwrap the legs, sending them out for a moment. Just notice how the right and the left feel the same or different. And let's bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Lengthening through the neck, shoulders tuck under, softening around the hip. Keeping the right hand on the knee, allow the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. As you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for the neck. Releasing the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center, extending the leg up toward the sky, taking hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel. Gently arch the low back, dropping the sitting bones down. And then gently tucking the pelvis, belly muscles draw toward the back as you draw the leg toward the torso, just as far as feels okay. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles draw down. With your next exhaling breath, if it feels okay, gently lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down, listening to your body. Lengthening through the back of the neck, reaching through the heel, belly muscles are strong. And with your next inhale, lower the head and chest. Let's go ahead and bend the knee. Again, bringing the hand either on the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot, whatever feels best for you. And bring the sole of the foot to face the ceiling into half happy baby pose. Allowing the knee to come outside of the ribs as much as feels okay. Consciously softening around the hips. And if it feels okay, you can extend that leg out a little more. And then let's bring the foot down. We'll bend the right leg, releasing the left foot and cross the left ankle over the right knee. Lifting the right foot off of the floor, take hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently flexing that left foot. Lengthen through the spine. Drawing the right knee toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Soften the shoulders as you breathe into the left hip. Releasing any anger or anxiety stuck in the hip. Allowing it to float away on the breath. And we'll lower the right foot down. Again, letting that leg slide across so the left leg is crossed over the right. And gently dropping the knees to the right if that feels okay. Vision to the left. Think about releasing through the outer hip. And then we'll gently come back to the center. Let's place both feet on the floor, walking the feet as close to the hips as feels comfortable with the feet about hip width apart. Tucking the shoulders under, arms alongside the body. Gently lift the toes, spread them wide and lower them down, making one end of your bridge, and then pressing the shoulders back and down, making the other end. With your next inhale, scoop the pelvis, gently roll the spine up, pressing the hips high. Exhale, gently lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale, scoop and lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. You can gently press back onto the shoulders if you're holding and breathing, but keep the chin gently away from the chest so you keep that natural arch of the neck. If you'd like to add the chest opener, you can roll your shoulders under, interlace your fingers, press the palms together, and then extend the arms out just as far as feels okay, or keep them, the elbows bent there gently. Pressing high through the hips, breathing into the heart. Knees stay parallel to each other. Listening to your body, holding as long as feels comfortable. When you're ready to come down, you can unlace those fingers, roll the shoulders out, and gently roll the spine down. Taking a breath in and out. Another breath in. As you exhale, tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat. Inhale, release, gently arching the low back. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. And let the breath go. Bring the knees over the torso, hugging them into Apanasana, breathing into the low belly. And then from here, you can either roll to your side, pressing up with your hands, or slip the hands behind the knees, kick the feet over the head, and gently rock up. And then let's come forward onto our hands and knees. And you can add a blanket under the knees for a little additional padding if that feels better for you today. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. With your next inhaling breath, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow the breath, strengthening through the back with the inhale, gently releasing and pulling the belly up with the exhale. And with the next inhale, come back to table pose. Let's walk the hands out a little further and come down onto our bellies. You can rest your chin or forehead on the mat, and we'll bring our arms alongside the body and then rock the hands with the palms up underneath the thighs. So the upper body will rest on the mat, and we'll be using our legs, working on strengthening through the low back and the glutes. So with your next inhaling breath, Press the pelvic bone into the mat and lift the right leg behind you gently. Your hip may want to come up, so try to keep that hip drop down to the floor. Exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay. Dropping that right hip, noticing where the lift is coming from. And with your next exhale, lower the leg. Take a breath in and out. And with your next inhale, press the pelvic bone into the mat. Lift the left leg behind you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe. If that feels okay, dropping that left hip, lifting through the glutes and the low back. And with your next exhale, gently lower. Take a breath in and out. And we'll work with both legs, but if that feels like too much for your low back, go ahead and alternate legs instead. So we'll letting that torso rest on the mat. Press the pelvic bone into the mat, and as you inhale, lift both legs behind you or alternate. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and hold if that feels okay, or you can continue coming up and down or continue alternating. And with your next exhale, lower down. Let's bring the hands out underneath the shoulders, pressing the hips back to the heels, coming into child's pose or reclined puppy. Lengthening through the spine, letting the forehead rest on the mat or on stacked fists if that feels better. Breathing into the spine, creating space between the vertebrae. With your next inhale, let's rock forward onto the hands and knees. We'll tuck the toes under and press our hips up and back into downward dog. And gently reach down one heel and then the other, walking the dog. Softening the knees, dropping the head between the arms. Chin is away from the chest. Hips reach high, heels float low. Notice what's happening with your shoulders, and you can kind of roll the shoulder blades back toward each other to shift that weight a little bit. Now let's walk our hands back toward our feet. Coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. You can place a block or something underneath the hands if that feels better. You can also have the hands on the shins or knees. Let's think about softening those knees a little. Trying to find a place where your ribs can rest on your thighs. And keeping the knees bent, think about pressing actively into the feet. Notice how you'll feel some engagement around the outer hips. Push into the hands or block, or excuse me, floor or block, or into the shins, kind of creating a little tension. And then as it feels okay, think about lengthening through the back of the legs a little more. So straightening or lifting the hips, but not locking the knees. Letting the spine lengthen and softening through the back of the neck. And letting anything that is a weight or a worry or a stress in this moment just drain out through the top of your head into the floor. Letting the earth soak it up, take it back, recycle it. Softening the knees with your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up, palms together over the head. And as you exhale, hands to the heart. Let's work with eagle pose today. We've done the legs and the arms in both seated and laying down positions, so we could try them standing now. If you want to use the wall as a support, being a few inches away from the wall so that when you bend your knees, you can have that support and contact there. So we'll find our balance on both feet. Lifting the spine, shoulders back and down, belly is strong, knees soft. Lift the toes, spread them wide as you lower them down. Rooting into the feet, lifting the heart. Let's shift the weight to our left leg. Finding a focus spot for our gaze, we'll come up to the big toe of the right foot. You can bring the arms out for balance if that feels better. We're going to hinge at the hips, bending the hips and the knees. Really thinking about pushing into that left foot, finding that strength and steadiness. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, you can lift the right leg, bringing it over the left, crossing like we did when we were on the floor. The foot can be in the air, on the floor, or wrapped around the calf. You can keep the arms out, or if it feels okay, you can add those eagle arms right over the left. Bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist. Think about squeezing the arms and legs together. If it feels okay, you can also drop the hips a little more, but really pay attention to your knees. Finding that steadiness, like an eagle perched on a cliff, just overlooking the world. And when you're ready, gently unwrapping. Shake out those legs. I just need another little sip of tea. And then let's find our balance on both feet again. We'll do the other leg. Spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lifting the toes, spreading them wide as we lower them down. Finding a focus spot for our gaze as we shift our weight to the right leg, coming up to the big toe of the left leg. Hinging at the hips, bending the hips and knees. You can bring the arms out to the side. And you can stay here or cross that left leg over the right, foot in the air, on the floor, or wrapped around the calf. You can stay here or add the eagle arms with the left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist. May notice one side easier or more difficult than the other. Gently squeeze the arms and legs together. Dropping the hips if that feels okay. One more breath if that feels all right. And then we'll gently unwrap. Oh, all right. So let's go ahead and spread our legs nice and wide. And then let's turn the heels in gently. So the toes are pointing toward the outer corners of your mat, or the front corners of your mat. We'll bring the hands to the hip crease of the hips. And we're gonna imagine that we're sitting down on a horse. So dropping our seat, bending our knees, letting those knees go out toward the toes. Keep your heart lifted. Think about pushing actively into the feet. So you feel that inner and outer groin, you feel the hips engage. If it feels okay, you could lift up one heel and then the other. If it feels okay, you could lift up both heels, working on that balance using a focus spot. You can keep the hands here or bring the hands to the heart, or bend the elbows and wrists coming into the Goddess Stupa pose. Now let's bring the heels down. We're going to turn our palms to face forward. And this is a little silly, but it's one of the things we do with Kali, the goddess, who helps us to kind of release a lot of that pent-up tension. So if you would like to join me in releasing some of that, you can go, and you scrape down with the hands. And then we'll gently straighten our legs. Let's turn the toes to face the long end of the mat. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, hips out behind us. Floating the hands down underneath the shoulders onto the mat or block. Soften the knees. Press actively into the feet and lift up through the sitting bones. If it feels okay, you can walk the hands over toward the right leg. Floating or hands on the floor, blocks or leg. Turning the torso to face the thighs, you lengthen down over the leg. Let's bring the hands to the floor if they're not there already. We'll lift the toes, bringing the foot to face that short end of the mat, bringing the hands on the inside of the foot, lifting onto the toes of the back leg, and dropping into lizard for a moment, just getting a little lengthening in the front of the hips there. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, come down onto the forearms. You can stay on the sole of the foot or drop onto the outer edge of that right leg. You can also have the back knee on the floor if that feels better. Just notice what else needs to be released from the hips. And let it go with the breath without force. We'll come back onto the hands and foot. Come back to the center. Soften the spine down. Notice how the hips maybe feel the same or different. We'll walk the hands over toward the left leg, hands on the floor, block or leg, turning the torso to face the thigh as you lengthen down over the leg, pushing into the left foot, lifting up through the sitting bones. And bringing the hands back to the floor, we'll lift the toes of that left foot, turning them to point toward the short end of the mat. Bringing the hands on the inside of the foot, we'll come onto the toes of the back leg, turning the hips to face the short end of the mat. Dropping into lizard. Again, you can have the knee in the air or on the mat. You could stay on the palms or come down onto the forearms. And you can keep the sole of that left foot on the floor or let the knee fall out to the side by coming onto the outer edge of the foot. Soften through the front of the right hip, opening through the outside of the left hip. Then we'll come back onto the hands, flatten the foot, come back to the center. Soften down one more time, lengthening through the low back. Feet are rooted into the floor as the knees soften and the hips reach high. Let's walk the feet closer toward each other, stopping just outside of hip width apart, working with Malasana squat. Soften the knees, lower the hips. If you'd like the block, place that in the center behind the heels. Then work on strengthening by bringing the hands to the heart, lifting the torso, keeping the hips up a little bit. If you want to work more on opening, you can begin to drop the hips down toward the block or heels. If that doesn't feel comfortable, either of those, you can also come all the way to the mat, walking the legs a little further out. And from any of the positions, think about bringing the elbows or upper arms into the knees or thighs, hands to the heart. Spine is nice and long. Notice where you might be holding on, softening around it. And then let's lower the rest of the way down if you're not there already. Coming to cross-legged position. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, reach to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tuck the right shoulder back and down, breathing into the left side of the neck. With your next inhale, come back to the center. And as you exhale, drop the left ear over the left shoulder. Tucking the left shoulder back and down. Heart is lifted even though the head is tilted as you breathe into the right side of the neck. With your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, chin turns over the right shoulder. Inhale to the center. Exhale, chin turns over the left shoulder. Inhale to the center. And let the breath go. Let's bend the knees, coming to the center of our mat. We'll take hold behind the legs, round the spine, drop the chin, and gently roll back. We'll lift the legs up toward the sky, rocking the hands underneath the hips or a block if that is preferred. Just supporting the legs, allowing them to soften and relax. Lengthening through the spine. Ankles and knees are soft as you breathe into the belly. Go ahead and bend the knees. Rock the block or hands out from underneath the hips. And hug the hips in, the knees in toward the torso. Gently rocking from side to side, massaging the low back. Or you can also make some circles by kind of drawing the knees in and out. Reverse the circles. And if you'd like one last twist, bringing the arms out to the side, palms facing down, knees together. Gently drop the knees to the right. Big exhale. Inhale to the center. Exhale, dropping the knees to the left. Big exhale, letting go. Inhale to the center. Lowering the feet down and extending out into Shavasana if that feels okay for your low back. Or keeping the knees bent, feet at the edges of the mat, knees resting together. Or having a bolster underneath your knees also can help. Arms alongside the body, or just slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Feet are hip width apart or so if your legs are extended. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allow each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allow each exhale to release anything no longer needed. Release your muscles from the bones, surrendering them to the earth, feeling its strength and support beneath you. And let the breath bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself, sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body, honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can bend your knees, gently roll to your side and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in and make sure to include yourself in this loving kindness blessing. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me today.